The field is set, and here's a look at the odds to win Larry O'Brien's trophy. The defending champs, well, they lead the way, obviously, followed by the Spurs and the Celtics. Lakers, long shots. Health of Luka very much in question. Of course, they host the Rockets, Game 1, Saturday, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on ABC. All right, as promised, we bring Danny Green back in here to SportsCenter. I want to take a look at this weekend full of playoff matchups. And let's start with LeBron and the Lakers taking on KD and the Rockets in that round one. LA shorthanded, no Luka, no Austin Reaves. So how can they even make this series interesting?
Defense. They got to find ways to junk it up defensively, what they've been doing the last couple months of trapping, doubling, zoning up. But they got to trap KD. He's the head of the snake. If you take him out, it'll slow them down. They have others that are pretty good. Alperen Sengun and Reed Shepard and Amin Thompson play point guard, but they're just not ready yet. So if you can find ways to just make them play in a half-court set, it'll be in your favor if you're the Lakers, because they are youthful, they are out and running better, and we know the Lakers struggle in defensive transition points. So if they can find ways to zone it up, they have to be offensively efficient, not turn the ball over, but defensively trap KD. He seems to struggle with it last two times they faced him with it.
Where's LeBron going to get any help from, though?
I mean, he's got some guys. They've been there. DeAndre Ayton's been in the finals. Marcus Smart has been in the finals. Luke Kennard's been around for a while. Rui Hachimura has played in the playoffs. So those guys, they have some veteranship, some experience that I trust more than the youthful Houston Rockets experience, because you're still very young. But they are shorthanded. They're going to find ways to kind of make the Houston Rockets slow down some and making them play in a half-court set. They will throw some zone out there. And like LeBron said, they got to rebound. They got to box out, be a grown man, box out, get in there, do your job, and rebound, because that's going to change or make or break the series.
With the Denver Nuggets going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's Jokic and Jamal Murray against Ant-Man and the crew. That might be the best series in the first round, if you really think about it. And then, of course, it's the Lakers going up against the Houston Rockets. Lakers are the 4th seed, Houston's the 5th seed. But I think that the Lakers will be hard-pressed to win a game. I'm just going to call it like I see it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a hard time imagining that the Lakers are going to even be able to make this a series. Luka Doncic has got to come back. If Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves were healthy, I'd be picking the Los Angeles Lakers to win the damn series. But without both of them, and with the Lakers forced to rely upon the 41-year-old LeBron James in his 23rd season, I don't know if the Lakers can win a game. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. I don't know if they can win a game. And because I don't know whether or not they can win a game, what am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to believe when I'm thinking about this team? I'm just in a different place, in a different stratosphere, thinking about the Los Angeles Lakers and what's going to come of them. It's a damn shame because, look, first of all, basketball is better. We love parity, and we accept it, and it's a beautiful thing when everybody seems to be playing close to an equal playing field, and everybody's got a chance to win. That's what makes the NFL great. I understand that. But it's also good to have that giant that everybody's shooting for, that everybody's trying to knock off at the knees. It really is. It makes the sport better. And when the Los Angeles Lakers are formidable, basketball is better. We enjoy it more. Okay? You got a situation where the purple and gold are relevant and they're making noise and they're battling for a championship. Who's not salivating at basketball? It's great for the ratings because that's what you love to see when you think about it. Think about it. If you want the Los Angeles Lakers successful, or you want the Utah Jazz successful. We all know there's no comparison. Let's just be honest about it. So we got to do what we got to do in that regard, and we got to be real honest about it. That's how I look at it. And by the way, album number 2, Jeannie Buss, Board of Governors, minority owner for the Los Angeles Lakers. She will be on the show. Looking forward to talking to her. Always love talking to the great Jeannie Buss. But I'm just telling y'all, Lakers, to me, I find a tough time them having a chance, but only because of their injuries. If it wasn't for AR and Luka being down, I would be picking the Lakers to win this series. But I think to ask them to be out and to ask them to depend on a 41-year-old in his 23rd season, that is LeBron James, to carry them against a Houston Rockets team that has size, that has athleticism, that are top 6 defenders in the league, that is led by one of the greatest scorers this game has ever seen in the one and only KD trade, Kevin Durant, I think that's too much to ask LeBron James to overcome. And because of that, I just can't see it happening. Triple A Mad Dog 6
about that. When you play the Rockets, there's a couple of things that you're top of the line, and I'm sure J.J. Redick is eyeball deep in all of the options at his disposal to try to figure out a game plan that's going to work. He obviously mentioned right there the rebounding. Houston's one of the great offensive rebounding teams of the decade. They thrive on getting second and third and fourth shots, and if you allow that, they will beat you. The game plan, almost certainly offensively, is going to be to give the ball to LeBron James, spread the court, and let LeBron create mismatches and find the best shot, either for himself or his teammates. When you play Houston, the two players that you want to target are Reed Shepherd and Alperen Şengün. These are excellent offensive players. Houston is suspect offensively. They need those guys in the game to get their offense going, although down the stretch of the season, Ime Udoka has found some lineups where he can generate some better offense that take pressure off of KD to be the offensive creator. But you've got to figure out ways to take advantage of those mismatches. You've got to punish those guys. That's where a guy like Luke Kennard is going to come in. His role expanded down. But if you look at the 10,000-foot view, what you really need is to extend. That's the message that the Lakers have to think every minute of the game. Extend until the fourth quarter. Your best chance at beating Houston is getting them into a close game. I understand that you're not going to have the same advantages as you did when you had Luka Doncic out there. But Houston has struggled at the end of loose games or at the end of close games. And then extend the series. Scrap and claw and figure out how to get it back to Houston 1-1. That way you know you're coming home for a game 5. Extending the series brings the possibility of Reaves and Doncic back in. I do not know how they're going to feel in a week. I don't think anybody does. But the longer the series goes, the reinforcements come into view. But you know what the sports books say. They say that for a reason because the Rockets are appropriately heavily favored.
Those last two parts that Wendy brought up is definitely appropriate. You want the game to be as close as possible in the fourth quarter because clutch time, particularly with their propensity to turn the ball over, is something that has plagued the Houston Rockets all season long. We know this, and we still don't understand why they didn't go out and get themselves a point guard to make sure. I know that Reed Shepherd can play, and I like him a lot, but the bottom line is he's not that quintessential prototypical point guard that you need. He doesn't have the experience yet. You needed somebody with that to calm the waters, per se, and to make sure they protect the basketball. That's not what they did. So if you can get them into deep waters, make sure the game is tight down the stretch, you can exploit Houston. There's no question that that should be a recipe for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's one of the things that Wendy brought up. But in the same breath, you know what? Let's not forget the importance of defending because you got to defend overall, period. You know, that's not the Lakers' strength. It looked like a strength of theirs at stretches this season, but by and large, that's not their strength. And when you are prolific offensively, but two of your primary offensive weapons are both out, you know, there's a level of urgency and desperation the Lakers should be playing in. And here's what I mean. You're taking it game to game. You're not thinking about the entire series. What you're trying to do is this. Can we get this series 2-2, for example, through the first 4 games? Buying some time for Luka and AR to get back. Can we do that? You literally have to play with a level of aggression and desperation that propels you to go all out just to push for that. And then you get your boys back. That's how they should be thinking as this series gets set to begin. Whether or not they do that remains to be seen because they got a tall task because Houston is going to rebound the basketball effectively. And there has never been, and I don't believe there ever will be in his career, an answer for Kevin Durant in terms of stopping him offensively. He is going to get his, no question. And unlike, even though we want to say that the record doesn't indicate that, they've gotten much better than the year before because they're still a top 6 team defensively, just like they were last year, et cetera, et cetera. Last year, you didn't have a bona fide number 1 offensive option. It was the sporadic Mr. Green, Jalen Green, that was your guy for you with the Houston Rockets. Now you have arguably the greatest scorer in NBA history, clearly one of the greatest.